HBO has released the third episode of House of the Dragon Season 2, which follows Rhaenyra as she exhausts every possible resource in order to keep the peace in Westeros. And this review will contain spoilers for what happens in the episode, so if you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, then I suggest that you turn this video off now and go on to watch the episode instead. But the episode begins with a minor territorial dispute between the green-aligned House Bracken and the black-aligned House Blackwood that escalates into a bloody battle where hundreds, if not thousands of men end up slaughtered. Apparently, these two houses have been feuding for centuries, but the exact reason as to why they began feuding in the first place has been lost in time, as sin begets sin begets sin. So the minor quibble at the beginning of this episode was just an excuse for them to indulge in their ancient grudge without any regard for how it even started. So this battle between the Brackens and the Blackwoods acts as a microcosm of the bigger picture between the Greens and the Blacks, which is exactly what Rhaenys tries to warn Rhaenyra of. With enough action being taken in this war, it'll only be a matter of time before nobody remembers why it even started in the first place. Was it when the Greens usurped Rhaenyra's throne, or when young Jaehaerys was beheaded? Was it when Aemond killed Luke, or when Luke took Aemond's eye? Different people may have different answers, but with enough time, none of the answers will matter because all anybody will remember is the outcome. And that outcome may end with a lot of fire and blood. So, to prevent any further bloodshed, Rhaenyra tries to appeal to Alicent's sense of reason. But she knows that Alicent will probably be suspicious of any raven that she sends, so Rhaenyra sneaks into King's Landing in order to speak to Alicent face to face, which is an incredibly stupid plan if you ask me, because we literally just saw Sir Eric try and fail to sneak into Dragonstone in the previous episode, so why would Rhaenyra possibly think that sneaking into King's Landing would be a good idea? I mean, even after Rhaenyra talks to Alicent and figures out that Alicent misunderstood Viserys' dying words, she still has to book it the fuck out of King's Landing without being spotted. But if Alicent really wanted to prevent the war from starting, then she could have told someone that Rhaenyra is sneaking around the Sept, especially since Rhaenyra just made her feel like an idiot for misunderstanding her husband's final words. That has to be hard for anyone to hear, let alone someone who made her son the king because she thought it would be for the good of the realm. And even if she wanted to end the war, it's not like she could just make Aegon stop being king. It's too late for that. Half of the entire country already supports him. So her hands are kind of tied. Rhaenyra came for nothing, and the war can finally actually begin. But even if I think the whole premise of Rhaenyra's actions were unwise to say the least, I do have to admit that it made for a very tense scene. And at least Rhaenyra received some sense of closure with her late father, knowing that he died still believing in the Song of Ice and Fire. That will probably give her a better sense of purpose in the war to come, but we'll see how it affects Alicent in the coming episodes. So Rhaenyra returns to Dragonstone, having already sent her younger children to the Arryns for protection in order to continue House Targaryen in case the Blacks fall. She even sends dragon eggs alongside them for good measure, and they will actually become the future of House Targaryen, since director Greta Patel confirmed that these are Daenerys' eggs from season 1 of Game of Thrones, which was pretty cool to see. Meanwhile, Otto Hightower is nowhere in sight, but Criston Cole uses his first day as Hand of the King to propose a plan to conquer Harrenhal. And while Aegon wants to join Cole on his conquering quest, he decides to stay in King's Landing instead and teases Aemond for sleeping in a brothel with the first woman he's ever laid with, which shows how much of a dick Aegon has always been to his little brother, even in spite of his loyalty. He's not even at the brothel for the Hawk 2 action. He's literally venting to this woman about his childhood bullying, only to receive more of that exact same bullying. This is why Aemond is the way he is, Aegon. Grow up, man. But anyway, Daemon is having scary visions at Harrenhal, and an ominous woman tells him that he is going to die here, which probably serves as foreshadowing for the war that is to come. And as that war wages on, we'll probably be seeing more additions to the tapestry that gets weaved during the introduction of each episode. This episode, for example, added Prince Jaehaerys to the tapestry, along with blood and cheese, which was fun because it's like we're watching the fabric of history unfolding before our very eyes. But at least I have fun watching the fictional history of Westeros, because I definitely don't have fun watching real-world history play out. Regardless, Westeros' long-lasting peace is about to come to an end, and we came to that realization in what was probably the slowest episode of the series so far. Because there wasn't a lot of action that took place in this episode, as none of the main characters even died. So this episode basically acted as nothing more than setup for whatever is about to come next. But I was able to remain engaged with the story being told because I love these characters so much. Even the scenes that include nothing more than just talking, I personally find to be quite fascinating. Because the showrunners are clearly building up to something big, and I believe that that something will turn out to be good and narratively satisfying. So I cannot wait to see what happens on the next episode of House of the Dragon once it gets released on Sunday evening.